Hey everybody, I'm Binkle Monkey, and welcome to the end of 2023. It's been a really big year in gaming, and I chose to wrap it up for myself with a little bit of reflection. So throughout December, I made what I called the 25 Days of Gaming. Each day I put out a minute or less short talking about one of the 25 best games I played this year, counting down to number 1. Not games that necessarily came out in 2023, just games that I played. And for those of you who aren't shorts people, like me, I decided to put them all together in one video. But due to a little editing snafu, there are 2 videos that are still in vertical phone format. So I hope you don't mind that a couple of them look like this. But with all that said, thank you so much for all of your support in 2023. We've really grown the channel a lot this year, and I'm looking forward to 2024. And without any further ado, let's roll the video. Here's my 25-day countdown of the best games I played in 2023. This doesn't mean they're new games, just that I played them in 2023. Case in point, number 25 is Kirbys Adventure. This is Kirby's second game, but his first to feature the copy ability, which means a lot less throwing up stars and a lot more weird abilities. Beam Kirby, Sword Kirby, Spicy Kirby, Fancy Kirby. They all originate from here. But what's he doing with these powers? Well, King Dedede has broken the Star Rod into 7 pieces, and it's up to Kirby to find them all and restore dreams to the people of Dreamland. He also summons an eldritch horror that threatens reality, but that's just another day in the life for Kirby. Hashtag just Kirby things. This might be the most difficult Kirby I've ever played, which isn't saying much, but it's really frustrating that if you get hit just once, your copy ability is knocked out of you, and you gotta go chase it if you want it back. They changed this in later games, but for now it's stupid annoying. Fortunately, this game is also stupid charming, and you just can't stay mad at it for long. Number 24 on my 25 Days of Gaming in 2023 is Ristar. Ristar was a mascot platformer for the Sega Genesis, which was never going to compete with Sonic, but I don't think it was really trying to. An evil space lord named Greedy is trying to take over the galaxy for himself. Real creative name for the supervillain there, Sega. And it's up to Ristar to stop him. Ristar grabs things. He grabs ladders, he grabs trees, he grabs rabbits by the throat. Please no, I have a family! Boink! And he grabs these stick things and flings himself like a shooting star. It's definitely a 90s get good kind of platformer, but I played it on the Switch, so screw game overs, we're rewinding. The game's plenty long on its own, with 7 different worlds and 3 levels each, complete with boss fights that range from fun to frustrating. And the final boss is an absolute nightmare. All in all, a game worth playing, but not one you absolutely have to finish. Number 23 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown for 2023 is Onsen Master. You know how if you snag every free game on the Epic Games Store and Amazon Games, you end up with a huge backlog? Well, I asked my partner to pick one at random, and I ended up playing Onsen Master. It's kind of like an Overcooked clone, but you manage a Japanese bathhouse. Put the right curatives into the baths and make these fully clothed bathers happy. But when the Japanese folklore monsters show up, it gets all sorts of crazy. It's a very manic arcade-style game that tests your management skills, and mine are pretty bad. Also, play this with a controller. Do not keyboard this. Quick tapping the U, H, J, and K buttons is not the same as spinning an analog stick. Not even close. It's still pretty fun, but it could use an online multiplayer element to really win me over, putting it towards the end of the best of 25 games I played this year, when I've played around 30 games total. Number 22 on my 25 Days of Gaming in 2023 is Getting Over It with Bennett. This is one of the worst games I've ever played, and for that, I love it. Getting Over It with Bennett relishes in how bad it is, and that self-awareness is what makes it stand out. You play as a creepy man in a cauldron, and you use your hammer to maneuver yourself up the mountain. The premise is weird, the physics are weird, and the vibes are so infuriating. Mr. Foddy will pop up from time to time to read you motivational quotes and tell you to keep trying, and it will piss you off. I played this for 2 hours straight and was just a pure ball of rage by the time I stopped, having only made it approximately 1/3 of the way up. So why do I like it? Is it because it's a statement on the repetitive nature of video games, where instead of giving us new interesting content, we are forced to repeat the same gameplay loops over and over again until mastery is achieved? Nah, it's because I can trick my friends into playing it and laugh at them. It's a perfect game for that. Getting a little controversial with number 21 on my 25 Days of Gaming in 2023 is Mario Sunshine. This Nintendo classic just rubbed me the wrong way. Mario gets arrested for littering and has to do community service for a crime he didn't commit. It's a very weird premise. Then he has a super soaker strapped to his back and he cleans stuff. It has an even weirder execution. The game definitely has its moments, and it's got some really fun movement tech to master, but this one has some of the hardest challenges in any Mario game I've ever played. That stupid leaf and river challenge, my god. And the blue coins, don't even get me started on the blue coins. I have a full video about this one on my channel, at Monkey Gaming, where I go over all the reasons why it's the black sheep of the franchise. Number 20 on my 25 days of gaming in 2023 countdown is Congos Capers. This game is so weird. 2 crystals fall out of the sky and turn 2 monkeys into humans, simultaneously pissing off both creationists and evolutionists. Way to go, game! A devil dude steals the monkey man's girl and he's off to save her. You run, jump, and club down cavemen while using them as projectiles against their buddies. You wander through forests, ninja cavemen castles, pirate caveman boats, and of course, the inside of a T-Rex. This game wins points for the bonkers premise more than anything else. The jumping arc can be pretty weird. There's a lot of high jumping that quickly turns into leaps of faith. But if you get 3 of the pink crystal things, you turn into Caveman Goku. And this guy looks like Milhouse.
Oh boy!
So, yeah, we're getting closer to the good games on this list, but for now, just enjoy the weirdness. Number 19 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is Kid Chameleon. An arcade gets a new virtual reality game, but then the boss of the game frees himself from his programming and starts kidnapping all the kids who couldn't beat the game. This is the AI future we're looking forward to, y'all. So now it's up to you, the kid, to save the day. So how exactly is the kid a chameleon? Well, you find these hats, and they change the kid's persona. You can be a knight, a ninja, an axe murderer, or just drive a tank that shoots skulls. This game is crazy, and it's crazy hard, but in the old memorize this level so you don't fall into that pit again kind of way. Oh, and there are over 100 different friggin' levels in this game. You can't see all of them in one playthrough because some levels have branching paths, but damn, that's a lot. I really enjoyed the open-endedness of finding your own path through this massive platformer, despite some of the difficulty just coming from old game jank. Give this one a try if you want a good challenge. Number 18 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is Yoshi's Story. This cute Nintendo 64 game is equal parts delightful and bizarre. You play as a gang of cute little Yoshis whose island was turned into a storybook? For some reason, their super happy tree, which they appear to worship as a god, was stolen, and the Yoshis gotta get it back from baby Bowser. And these Yoshis aren't above hitting a kid. The structure of this game is peculiar, to say the least. You choose 1 level per page of this storybook, and once you complete it, you're on to the next page. So you have to play this game many times before you see every level. And the level ends whenever you fill the border of the screen with fruit. So you might not even see the entire level in a level. And you're doing all this Yoshi stuff all in the name of getting a high score? It's very strange, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun. Number 17 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is the Castlevania NES Trilogy. Yeah, they might be 3 different games, but it's my list, so there. The NES Trilogy follows Simon Belmont in Castlevanias 1 and 2, and his ancestor Trevor in 3. They're vampire hunters, and Dracula needs a stakin'. You whip your way through classic horror movie monsters, all while doing that iconic Belmont strut. 1 and 3 are very structurally similar, while 2 takes an open world approach, and that made it my least favorite. Castlevania 3 adds some extra playable characters. Sypha the Sorceress, Alucard, son of Dracula, and Grant. He's a pirate, and he climbs on walls. Gee, I wonder why you didn't make it into the Netflix show. The gameplay is challenging, but never that unfair. Okay, sometimes it's unfair. These birds are the worst, but the music slaps through all 3 games. While the newer Metroidvania Castlevanias are more technically impressive, these old ones ooze the charm that made this series be a series in the first place. They also ooze as well. There's a lot of ooze. Number 16 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is the Disney Afternoon Collection. Yeah, it's literally 6 different games, but I played them all at the same time. And it's my list, so there! This collection of Capcom-made Disney games slaps. DuckTales is an all-time platformer classic. Pogo stick on your cane as Scrooge McDuck while you explore the Amazon, Transylvania, and even the friggin' moon. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is a less exploration-based platformer, but has a lot more box throwing, and 2-player co-op. Tailspin is a very mid-scrolling shooter where you play as Baloo in his tiny little airplane and get attacked by things. It's definitely the weakest link of the collection. Darkwing Duck feels like a Mega Man clone, but who better to make one of those than Capcom? Darkwing picks up abilities to stop the baddies from his show, like Bushroot. That is in fact a name. Last are DuckTales 2 and Chip 'n Dale 2, which clean up the graphics and gameplay of the originals, but lack the same charm. All in all, a really solid collection that's great for anyone with that early 90s cartoon nostalgia. Number 15 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Fogs. As in physics, and Ogs as in dogs. Fogs has you solving puzzles as Cat Dog's estranged cousin, Dog Dog. They bark, bite, and stretch their way through a fantasy world. I really love the art style of this game. Just lots of colors and cute NPCs to run into. And some of these levels play with perspective in a way I have never seen in gaming before. It's just a great looking indie game. And it's 2-player co-op. My partner and I had such a great time playing this easygoing puzzler as a team. Whether you're moving balls around or turning your partner into a flashlight, this game just emanates good vibes and joy. But we couldn't help but wonder, how do fogs poop? Coming in at number 14 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Sonic Superstars. I was really excited to see a new 2D Sonic game coming out this year, and then I played it, and it was fine. The gameplay was fine, the level design was fine, playing as all 4 characters plus an additional new character was good, unless you were playing multiplayer, because that was bad. Maybe I just have high expectations for my Sonic games, but this one just didn't wow me. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy my time playing it. Some of the new ideas, like getting additional skills from the collected Chaos Emeralds, gave looking for them shinies much more weight than usual. But I could do without the long-ass boss fights and that replay through the whole game to see the true ending. All in all, if you like classic Sonic, you'll enjoy Sonic Superstars. Just don't compare and contrast it to the new Mario game like I did in this video. People got a little touchy about that. Lucky number 13 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Fable Legacy. Fable is Baby's first open-ended game. Your choices could lead to you being the most virtuous hero in all of Avalon, or the most sinister tyrant it's ever seen. You start out as a boy whose village is destroyed, and your family gets unalived, so you spend years at the Heroes Guild, training for the day you can avenge your family. From there you go on quite the adventure with lots of weapons, armor, and spells to choose from. And despite the downer that is the start of the game, it's actually pretty funny. Like, there's a fart button, and it's the solution to more quests than you'd think. I don't want to give too much away, but the game looks pretty great for something that came out on the original Xbox, and is a good time for its 15-hour or so runtime. I played through it twice just to try out both the good and the evil paths. You can check out my video about that on my channel. Speeding its way into number 12 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is F-Zero 99. There was only one problem with F-Zero when it released as a launch title for the Super Nintendo. It was a racing game with no multiplayer. Well, F-Zero 99 more than rectifies that. Race against people from around the globe in gorgeous pixelated splendor. Spin attack racers who get too close, and ride the newly added Skyway when the time is right to get the edge on your rivals. And that's just the standard race mode. You can take on different Grand Prix with harder courses, and thank God for that, otherwise you'd be racing Mute City over and over and over again. Come on people, don't just vote for Mute City every time. Variety! I suck at this game, but I absolutely love hopping on for a few races. And it's that love that makes me nervous that this Nintendo live service game is gonna go the way of Mario 35. And my heart hasn't healed from that one yet. Blasting into number 11 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Gunstar Heroes. Where has this game been all of my life? The bad guys are taking these gems to power a world-destroying machine, and it's up to you, and preferably a buddy, to stop them. You got your shooty shoots, and you mix and match power-ups to make them shooty shoot to your heart's content. And then, well,
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
The level design is super inventive, the character animations are so expressive, the bosses are amazing. Scary robots, buff boys, even board games stand in your way as you fight to save the world. Grab a friend, literally if necessary, and play Gunstar Heroes. I can't believe I missed out on it until now. It's definitely a must-play on the Switch Online's Genesis console. Splatting its way into the top 10 of my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Splatoon 3. I am terrible at shooter games, but the Splatoon series always finds a way to keep me trying. You and a team of 3 others use wacky weapons to ink more of the stage than the other team. Sounds simple, but throw in power-ups, special abilities, and a whole lot of charm, you've got something special. Or, if you don't want to splat your fellow squids, join a team on a mission to retrieve golden eggs from the salmonids for the mysterious Mr. Grizz. Okay, honestly, there are so many modes and little flourishes in this game, it's hard to go over them in a short. Single-player story mode, turf war, clam blitz. They even threw in a card game. Splatoon 3 is an experience with a vibe all its own. If you're looking for a gateway into online shooty shoot games, this is a great starting place. We had a late entry sneak its way into number 9 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown. It's Sonic Dream Team. Who would have thought an Apple Arcade exclusive game that I have to play on my phone would be the best Sonic game I played this year? Sonic Dream Team has Dr. Eggman using a machine that can make dreams a reality to try to take over the world. So Sonic and the gang start sleeping on the job to stop him. And oh my god, is this how I like my Sonic. It's got Sonic Adventure 2 vibes mixed with the character swapping from Sonic Heroes. 6 playable characters voiced by most of their usual voice actors, and beautiful areas to explore. I can't believe I am playing this on my phone. Some of the controls are a little touchy, but this is a fantastic return to form for non-open world 3D Sonic games. Use that 1-month free trial of Apple Arcade and give this one a go. Orbiting around the number 8 spot on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Super Mario Galaxy. What's there to say about Galaxy that hasn't been said? Mario goes to outer space to fight Space Bowser while helping a space princess power her space station. Space. The game is still gorgeous, challenging, and a big old pile of fun. While not for the easily motion sick, the gravity mechanics on all the little space orbs was mind-melting back in 2007, and the orchestral score stands the test of time, just like the entire game, except helping the robot cleaning up the space trash with bombs. No more of that, please. This game's one for the ages, but what game soared just a little higher for me this year? Be sure to tune in the rest of the week to find out. Continuing the trend of legendary games, number 7 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is The Legend of Zelda. I hadn't played the game that launched the franchise until this year, and I am so glad I did. You adventure through Hyrule as Link, on a quest to find all the pieces of the Triforce to save Princess Zelda and defeat Big Nasty Pig Boy, Ganon. This game doesn't hold your hand, though. You are set loose into a pixelated hellscape with a sword, no map, and 3 hearts worth of health versus hordes of monsters. But it's up to you to find all the secrets and collect all the tools you're going to need. And that's bombs. Lots and lots of bombs. If you play this one old school like it was intended to be, it's a true test of your gaming intuition. If you play with a guide, you're not going to have nearly as good of a time. But if you make a giant map out of sticky notes and markers to show you the way, then you're like me, having the best possible time with The Legend of Zelda. You can check out that full video on my channel. Bear crawling into the number 6 spot on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Banjo Kazooie. Banjo's sister Tootie is kidnapped by the evil witch Gruntilda, who wants to take all that youthful beauty for herself. So Banjo and his best buddy Kazooie bust into Grunty's castle and jump, swim, and fly to stop Gruntilda. And you do this by collecting everything. Music notes, jigsaw puzzle pieces, eggs, feathers, skulls, little creepy dudes. This game is like a real-life junk drawer, but it's so colorful and cute, and then it right turns directly into absolutely bleak and disgusting. One minute you're in a Christmas winter wonderland. The next you're in a shipyard with water so toxic it will unalive you if you're in it for too long. Now the Switch's Nintendo 64 service might be the most accessible way to play this game, but it's definitely not the best. The controls are just jank enough that you'll be fine for the majority of the game, but it will make the end game an absolute nightmare. But if you have a way to play it with a Nintendo 64 controller, you're in for a weird and goofy good time. Climbing all the way to the top 5 of my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Celeste. This gorgeous indie game is equal parts emotional and tough as nails. You play as Madeline, a young girl struggling with anxiety and depression who wants to prove to herself that she can climb Mount Celeste. But there's some magic brewing in that mountain, and it manifests her self-doubt into an emo doppelganger. Run, jump, climb, and dash your way up the mountain, and it's not gonna be easy. Each level has new gimmicks and mechanics to master, and while you're mastering the art of riding the snot bubble, you're gonna fail. A lot. While the base game isn't anything too crazy, getting all the strawberries and completing all the far more intense B-sides are what make this game a real challenge. And if you want to see the true ending of this one, which is one of the hardest acts of platforming I have ever accomplished, you've got to do it all. And when you do it all, wow does it feel good. But the process of getting it all done, I made a full-length video about how this game about anxiety actually gave me anxiety. And now for my most replayed game of 2023, coming in at number 4 on my 25 Days of Gaming countdown is Risk of Rain 2. I could spend a lot of time explaining the lore of Risk of Rain universe and how all the characters connect, but honestly I don't know any of it. What I care about is it's a roguelike where you get money for smushing beetles and then you open chests and get power-ups. But this roguelike is built with the potential for an infinite loop. You can avoid fighting any of the multiple final bosses and just keep going and going. And that's when the game goes from looking like this to this. If your computer's not lagging, you're not playing Risk of Rain hard enough. But with a bunch of unlockable items, characters, levels, and secrets to explore, this game just keeps you coming back for more. And it's 4-player co-op. I'm terrible with the shooting characters, but I swear they made that sword-wielding mercenary character just for me. There is something for everyone in this roguelike, and you gotta play Risk of Rain 2. Now for the main reason I bought a PS5, number 3 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is Final Fantasy XVI. With a plot way too big for this kind of video, 16 takes the franchise back to fantasy basics. No sci-fi shenanigans this time, we're doing swords and magic. That doesn't mean it's not a pretty big departure from the series known for expansive world maps and turn-based battles though. This far more linear approach lets the developers tell the bigger-than-life story of Clive and friends the way they meant for it to be told. And the combat is anything but turn-based, but it's awesome. I never thought I'd be making attack combos like this in a Final Fantasy game, but it totally works. Square Enix knocked it out of the park with this one, and with new DLC coming out next year, there's even more adventures to be had. Time to get weird with it. Number 2 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I didn't know I wanted a new 2D Mario game until I saw the trailer for Wonder. Mario and the gang travel to the Flower Kingdom, where Bowser steals the Wonder Flower and turns himself into a castle? The Flower Kingdom is filled with familiar enemies and a swarm of new ones. But most importantly, almost every level has a Wonder Seed that turns a level into a beautiful, weird, chaotic mess. It's easily the most fun I've had with a Mario game in years. Add to that 4-player couch co-op, a beautiful new art design, and music by Koji Kondo that always slaps. You have one of the best games of 2023. But what game did I play this year that I liked more? Tune in tomorrow for the finale. And finally, coming in at number 1 on my 25 days of gaming countdown is Undertale. If you haven't played it, I don't want to spoil it. And if you have played it, you don't need me to tell you what makes this story so special. I got to experience the whole thing 8 years after its release without any of it ruined for me, and I want everyone to get that opportunity. What I will say though is this RPG is wacky and heartfelt. The art style is all its own, and the music. Toby Fox, how did you make up this game and all the music? That's just insane to me. Undertale is just so different from everything else I've been playing. Different in a way that since I've played it, I look at other games more critically. Was this game made for a reason? What makes it stand out from the rest? And for Undertale, it's how its gameplay ties all the other elements together in a way I've never seen before. While so many other games I played this year are just great, the experience that is Undertale is the one that stuck with me stronger than any other game this year. And for that, I crown it my favorite game I played in 2023. So there you have it, the top 25 games I played in 2023. What were your favorite games you played this year? Let me know in the comments. I hope you all had a great 2023, and a good step to have a great 2024? Just drop a like on this video, or even a sub if you're feeling really fancy. Big shout out to my Patreon, and for anyone else who's been supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all again, and have a good one.